And I'm really happy to introduce to you David Ciucevich, who's going to be talking with you today about hypnosis. And I am really excited for this session, very interested to what he has to say. So at the end of the session, we will have time for questions. So as you're hearing the presentation and you think of something, please type it in the chat, and Brooke and I will take those questions at the end of the session. So without further ado, I will leave it to you, David.
Thanks very much, Jessica, and good morning, everybody, or wherever you are in the world when you're watching this. Thank you again to the ICA for giving me the opportunity to give this presentation to you, and I hope that it's very helpful to you. So again, my name is David Ciucevich. I'm a professional clarinetist. I'm also a saxophonist, recorder player, flute player, guitarist, and operatic tenor. And you might also, well, I'm also a professional hypnotist as well. And you might say, well, I understand those other doubles, but clarinetist and hypnotist, that's not a common double. How do I hear, what's the story there? So there is a little story that I thought I would give here, just how I discovered hypnosis. How does a clarinetist of all people find hypnosis? So I'll start off. It was the early 90s. Yes, I'm dating myself. And I was in graduate school, and everyone who's an undergrad or graduate school person or a doctoral person knows that your big performance project, of course, is your recitals or recitals at the doctoral level. So I was, I'd always been pretty good with stage fright and nerves and that sort of stuff, but I was kind of curious, is there something else I could do that would convert some of that energy from stage fright, nervousness stuff into positive stuff that would fuel my performance and my practicing and make me a better musician? So I was doing some research and I found a discussion of this thing called hypnosis, and I didn't know very much about other than what I'd read. And I did some research, and it turned out the college that I attended, in the counseling center, had a woman who was retired U.S. Air Force, and she was a hypnotist. She had studied hypnosis through the Air Force. And so I worked with her once a week. I went in for free, had free sessions for a week, thanks for the counseling center. And we had great rapport, and everything was flowing really well. And so after a while of working with her and seeing the results, I said, hey, I have this master's recital coming up. Could we create a hypnotic script for me to practice with to supplement my regular, physical practicing and stuff? So sure. So we wrote this script out, and it was detailed. I was describing what I was wearing. I was describing this piece going to that piece, the audience's reactions. I'm playing better than I ever have. Everything's flowing smoothly. All the stuff I wanted to see, feel, hear, and experience. And so it being the early 90s, kids, the hot technology at that time was not the iPod or even downloads. It was a thing called a Walkman. It was a cassette player, tape, old technology, right? So I had my Walkman and my earbuds, and I recorded this hypnosis script and put it on a cassette, and I listened to it every day for quite a while, a few months, a couple months maybe. And so by the time the recital came, I was excited, but the stress level was so far down. I almost had a feeling of been there, done that in a good way. I was excited, but everything that I had put in the script came to pass. I was really calm. I played the best that I had in my life to that point. The audience response was fantastic, what I envisioned. So I was totally sold at that from then on in hypnosis. And so a few years later, I decided I want to get trained in this and be a hypnotist and help share this with other people. So that's my story. And that's how a clarinetist discovered hypnosis, and I'm still doing it. So the next thing that I'd like to touch upon is the power of our breath. Now, clarinet players, wind players, we know this, some of this stuff, but it's nice to kind of be reminded of it. And it connects directly to hypnosis. So the power of our breath. Breathing is fascinating for so many different reasons, but one of the fascinating things that I find is breathing is the only function that is done completely consciously or unconsciously. Another way to say that, there's two different sets of nerves and muscles in our body. So your conscious control is your voluntary, and your unconscious is the involuntary. And breathing is the only function where you can influence directly that involuntary system. So the voluntary system, of course, breathing consciously to play the clarinet, great example. Unconsciously is, thank goodness we have unconscious breathing, because none of us would have woke up this morning. So that's a very important system as well. So that involuntary system, breathing when you are influencing the involuntary system positively affects, of course, your heart rate, and it takes you out of basically how humans evolved is we have this limbic system, this animal part of our system that's very ancient, of course. And think about not so much playing your masters or your big recital or your concert, but thinking about having to avoid a tiger, which is what we're evolutionarily designed for, right? So there's two ways that the body reacts to such an intense, stressful stimulus. The first one, I call it the 3 Fs: fight, flight, or freeze. So the 3 Fs. I don't want to try to say that fast, so I'll say the 3 Fs, okay? So let's think about what happens when we are in the 3 F situation. Our heart rate speeds up, that feeling of the heart about to bounce out of your pounding out of your chest. Your blood pressure goes up. Your digestion slows down. And that's because adrenaline is causing the blood to flow to your brain and your extremities, because you might need to flight or fight or freeze to get out of this situation. So the body's saying digestion is not such a priority at this moment. So some of you may experience this too, where you might not feel like you want to eat before you perform, a big concert, that sort of thing. So fight, flight, or freeze is great. I'm glad we have it. But if you stay in this mode, you're meant to be in it for like a second or part of a second to avoid that tiger, and then boom, you're supposed to drop back down into normal, what we call rest and digest mode. You should spend most of your life in rest, digest. But if you stay stuck in the 3 Fs too long, have you all I know I've experienced some of these. Have you experienced cold hands before an audition? Yep. Your blood pressure goes up in that state. Atrial fibrillation, chronic digestive issues, anxiety, yuck, all kinds of things that you don't want to be staying in your life. So when you're in rest and digest, of course, the opposite happens. Your heart rate goes down. Your circulation gets better. So the cold hands are gone. Your immune responses actually strengthen up, very important in these times. And you just have more flow and ease in your motions and in your thoughts. So we want to come out of the 3 Fs as quickly as we can and live and rest and digest, even in stressful situations. So now here's where you come in. We're going to practice a really cool technique. It's called relaxing breath. I call it the 911. This is what you can use if you are in tiger mode or you feel like the tiger is on you. You can use this really quick and it's pretty easy to remember. So let's try it from where we are, okay? So 3 steps, I'll do it with you. So the first step in this relaxing breath, don't move your head, keep your head forward, but lift your eyes. So look up with your eyes, move your eyes to an imaginary spot. You should feel your eyes pushing up against the plane of your eyebrows gently. So it could be here or higher. Again, try not to move your head, just stare at that spot with your eyes. Move your eyes up, that's awesome. And now while you're doing that, keep your eyes up there and go ahead and breathe in through your nose. This is not quite how we usually do it on clarinet, but a lot of this will seem familiar. So go ahead and breathe in through your nose, very deep. Hold it briefly, and then blow it out slowly through your mouth. And one thing you'd like to do here is when you'd like your exhale to be twice as long as your inhale. As clarinet players, we know this, right? We take that inhale and we want to extend that breath as long as we can. So you guys have got this part. So let's do this a couple more times. So eyes up at your spot, breathe in through your nose, hold it, and then let it out real slowly through your mouth. Okay, let's do one more cycle of that. So eyes up, breathe in through your nose, hold it, and then slowly twice as long out your mouth. Excellent. So pay attention to your breathing while you're doing that. And after you've done, you can go ahead now and just bring your eyes back down to real life here, okay? So if you do this technique long enough, this technique can greatly reduce or even bust a panic attack. So if any of you have those appear in your life, work on this little technique. It's easy to remember, and let me know how it turns out for you. So there was a really wise woman. Her name was Virginia Satir, and she was a social worker most of her life. Now, Virginia Satir, as a social worker, was interviewing one-on-one thousands of people in her lifetime, and she noticed a curious thing. She noticed that there were 4 ways that all people, used to try to handle stress, but all 4 of these ways fail. So this is a little bit of the audience participation part. So the first one, I want you to put your right hand on your hip, take your left hand, put your pointer finger out, point somewhere in your room that's not at a person or an animal. So pick a spot, and I want you to take this pointer finger, and I want you to wag it, and I want you to say in a really accusatory voice, "It's all your fault." Awesome. Excellent. So this type is the blamer. So the blamer, this doesn't work for stress because the blamer gives away their power externally. It's the dog ate my homework. You said something and that made me blow my notes in the Nielsen or whatever, you know. So the blamer doesn't work. Epic fail. Will not relieve your stress. Have we tried these? All of us have been in these and will be in these states at some point. Okay, the second way that people try to handle stress that fails, I want you to take your hands, like hold them like you're a great actor and you're cradling like a newborn baby. And I want you to look up at your hands, and in your most like kind of pleading, whiny voice, I want you to say, "Anything you want, I'm just here for you." Excellent. Okay, I'm wondering, I'm kind of getting the feeling that some of you may have a second career as actors here. The clarinet is nice, but you know, keep it in mind. This one is called the placator. So the placator gives away their power like the blamer, but they do it a little differently. They put everyone else's needs first, and they give and give and give. And then when they have nothing left for themselves, and it's really painfully aware of you're painfully aware of that, then they start resenting those people that they gave to. So really not a good spot to be in, doesn't feel good for anyone. And so epic fail, number 2. All right, so the third way that people try to handle stress that fails. This one's kind of interesting. Take an arm, put another arm on top of it, take your index and thumb, kind of studiously put it on your face, and you can look up and say, if one were to analyze this, one would find. Okay, now this one's called the computer. I know this one pretty well. We academic folks, people who love to read, engineering folks, love my academics, love my engineering folks, not everybody, but a lot of the people in those fields tend to fall in this computer area. The computer is kind of like a Hamlet complex. They take the world in, they think about what they're seeing, and then they make a response back out. But the problem with the computer is oftentimes they get stuck in the beauty of their thoughts, the beautiful mind, and they never take action like Hamlet until it's too late, and then you know what happens there. So computering doesn't work either. Sorry, epic fail, 3. Okay, the fourth way that people try to handle stress that fails. This is kind of fun too. Take an arm, point one way, take an arm, point the opposite way, lift your leg. I can't see what you're doing. Stick your head out, stick your head over, stick out your tongue and go, ah! Okay, that's a weird one. That's called the distractor. That's the person that's going, when you tell them something, to go, squirrel, that sort of thing. So the distractor, it doesn't work because that distractor deal is so afraid of stress that they can't even focus on what's going on. So they're like, something else. Let me distract myself, literally. So sorry, 4 epic fails there. None of those ways work. So Ms. Satir did notice that there was actually one way that works, one way that's the only mature way to handle stress. And this one, okay, I want you to put your hands here in front of your face like you're holding a ball, and say these words with me, and we'll do the gestures. So, yes, there is a problem, and I'll handle it. Have you seen someone do that? I've got it. I've got it. I'm handling it. Right. That's called the leveler. And the leveler position is actually the best because the leveler sees reality as it is, what's out there in front of them. They say, yes, there's an issue here. There's something I need to work with, and I'll handle it. So they are going from their own power and not expecting anything else. They work from their own power, which is all you have, and then they make the changes that happen. So this leveler position is really cool too, because it's the basis of where we form hypnotic suggestions, which help us make changes to get the results we'd like. So how do we get results? How does hypnosis in particular help us get different results in our life? A common question, this is probably the biggest question I get, what is hypnosis? Well, hypnosis is just simply clearing your mind and flooding it, providing it with positive suggestions, which also are new beliefs. This lets you access new potentials, create new behaviors, and get new results. So if you don't like your results, this is a great way to do it. Now, a lot of people say, hey, well, I meditate and I feel relaxed, and that's kind of cool. And I'm a huge meditator. I've done a lot of meditating. I still do. It's very relaxing. And how hypnosis works is meditation clears your mind, yes, but hypnosis goes further. You clear your mind, but you're putting those positive suggestions into your unconscious mind where a change happens. And then that starts the cycle. Meditation doesn't usually go there. Now, what's kind of cool, a little factoid, the American Medical Association recognized hypnosis as a field of study way back in 1958. In fact, they recommended that all aspiring doctors in postgraduate medical schools receive hypnosis instruction so they could use it with their patients. Today, you will see a few MDs that use hypnosis. Generally, it tends to be PhD psychologists or persons like myself. Hey, I'm busy playing the clarinet, but I also love hypnosis too. So it depends on the state that you're in, the country you're in, what their licensure is, but it certainly can be done. So one of the big takeaways I'd like you to have for today's class, this seminar, is this: all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So here's an example we're all familiar with. You get in your car, you've got your GPS, right? Let's say you want to go to your favorite bakery, or maybe it's a bakery you haven't been, maybe it's somewhere you haven't been before, actually, so you don't know how to get there. So you put the directions into the bakery, you're driving along, and you hit the fork in the road, okay? And the beautiful voice on the GPS goes, turn right at the intersection. Well, here you go. You've got free will, right? Okay. So if you go and turn right and follow the directions, we trust Siri a little bit. So Siri, or the GPS, is going to take you probably the quickest way. You'll get there quick. You'll get there smoothly. You won't run into any obstacles or accidents or anything. And then, you'll be sipping your latte or whatever you're doing there. But again, you have free will. You can come up to that intersection when she says, her voice says turn right. You can say, I'm kind of feeling left today. We're assuming there's a road to the left to go to, okay? So if you turn left, you might eventually get to the place you're going, but you might never get there. You might go off into the woods, or you might, God forbid, get in an accident or something, or just get totally distracted and never get to the bakery. So it's your choice what you want to do. But the hypnotist is like the GPS. It's a guide. That's a guide who helps you get your desired results. So hypnosis, the basis of hypnosis is a trance state. Now, we all go into trance states. And for example, one of the great ones, let's say you're going to someplace you go all the time, like every day, like your school or your work. Those are awesome places to go. We do them all the time. Have you ever gotten in your car, didn't even need your GPS, you drive, whatever you're doing, driving, you get there and you go, oh my God, how did I get here so fast? Well, how did I get here? Sometimes I had that happen just a couple of days ago. How did I get here? I'm here. Another great example, have any of you been practicing and you're into it and you have a perfect read and you're just solving all your problems and you're feeling good and the birds are singing outside and all of a sudden you look up the clock and an hour's gone by and an hour and a half has gone by, right? You were in a trance state. That's what hypnosis gets you into more consciously. All right, another question I get, this is a great one. Somebody says to me, well, I kind of think I was hypnotized sometime, but I'm not really sure, okay? Well, I can say there are three types of people. There are only three types of people who cannot be hypnotized. The first person who cannot be hypnotized is someone who is drunk. Now, I mean, falling down stone cold drunk, not social drinking here at all. Sorry, kids, this one is totally drunk. And this doesn't work because this person, for two reasons, they can't follow directions because they're drunk, they're not focusing, and they probably can't control their body enough to follow the suggestions of the hypnotist. So I'm hoping everybody on this call at this moment. All right. So the second type of person who cannot be hypnotized is someone with an IQ below 70. Now, this is someone through no fault of their own. Hypnosis doesn't work kind of for similar reasons. They can't fully understand or follow the directions, or they can't control their body or make their body do what's being suggested. So it won't work for that sort of a person. And the third and final person who cannot be hypnotized is kind of the most annoying to me. They don't usually book appointments for my office, but this is the person who comes in and says, well, you can't make me be hypnotized. I don't want to do it. So that person, you are totally right, because again, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis, right? So you can't be ever made to do anything that goes against your free will. It has to be your choice 100%. So yes, that sort of person cannot be hypnotized. So now you're probably thinking, okay, I don't fit any of those three categories, thank goodness. So what does hypnosis feel like? I want to give you a little taste of hypnosis, what it feels like, all right? So here we go. So I want you, where you are, just go ahead, you can close your eyes, put your feet flat on the floor, uncross your legs and arms, and just listen to the sound of my voice. Now notice that you can feel your breathing, might feel the chair or wherever you're sitting. You can even hear sounds inside and outside of your room, but you're always just coming back to the sound of my voice. This is exactly what hypnosis feels like, and you should never expect to black out. So go ahead now and open your eyes. Excellent, welcome back, you did it. Okay, so that is hypnosis. That's what hypnosis feels like. It's a very common trance state that we go into multiple times during the day. So now that you've had a taste of hypnosis, let's do what I call the 5-minute self-hypnosis. And this is in the supplemental materials. I'm hoping that it will, Jessica or Brooke can put it into the chat. That'd be awesome. This is written out instructions, and I'm going to take you through it so you don't have to take notes. You can just experience it. So here we go. 5-minute self-hypnosis. All right, I'm going to put a little timer on here. Here we go. All right. So first step, go ahead and relax. You can put your feet flat on the floor and uncross arms and legs. Go ahead and close your eyes and roll your eyes up slightly like we did earlier. And begin to breathe deeply, relaxing with each breath you take. That's right. Now imagine a warm white light coming down through the top of your head or up through the bottoms of your feet, filling you from head to toe and toe to head. Yes, the warmth can flow up and down too. Now imagine that your body is like a dry sponge, absorbing all the liquid relaxation till it's saturated. Now, I'd like you to imagine going down a set of stairs, an escalator, or an elevator, whatever works for you. Down, down, down. And when you reach the bottom level, you will be in a state of very deep, deep hypnosis. Now, once you've reached that bottom level, imagine that your eyelids are very heavy. You can even test them if you like. Just tug and see how heavy and relaxed your eyelids have become. Your eyebrows move easily, and your eyelids feel heavy and stuck tight together. That's right. Now, once you've satisfied yourself that your eyelids are stuck tight, I'd like you to repeat to yourself a simple positive phrase 27 times or until you lose track of the counting. For this session, this is a really common one. Let's use it now. So the phrase you'll say to yourself 27 times or until you lose track is, every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. So continue saying that in your mind 27 times or until you lose track. Every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. That's right. You're doing well. So continue to repeat that phrase to yourself every day, in every way. I am getting better and better. Now, once you reach 27 or you lose track of the counting, I'd like you to count from 1 to 5 in your mind, awakening yourself 20% with each number. And when you reach the number 5, you will open your eyes fully and return to the room feeling refreshed, fully awake, and even more energized than when we started. And I'll wait. Fantastic. Welcome back to the room again. And if your eyes happen to still be closed, that's fine. Just go ahead now and open your eyes with all suggestions canceled. And welcome back to you folks as well too. Awesome. So that is a little brief 5-minute self-hypnosis that you can do with yourself. And again, the description it's in the supplemental materials. And go ahead and practice and let me know how it works for you. So now I'm going to finish, I'm going to go ahead and screen share from here. And I just want to summarize a couple of my main points here. So the main thing that we're all here for, how do you get results? Hypnosis is one of the fastest and best ways I've found to get results in my life. So it starts with your beliefs. So if you change your current beliefs through hypnosis, very easy, fast way to do it, getting into your subconscious mind, then that allows you to tap in the new potentials. If you have your current beliefs, they may be holding your potential back. Oh, I can't play the Nielsen or the Corigliano. Oh, that's for other people. Don't think that way, especially if you want to play it, right? Okay, so when you have a new potential you've tapped into, then your behavior will change. It'll lead to new behaviors as well. And your new behaviors then will lead you. You may practice differently. You'll know what to do to achieve the new results that you're looking for. So, and this is a feedback loop here. So whether you use it to spiral upward or spiral down, staying where you are, if you produce new results, that just keeps the cycle going and it reinforces your new beliefs. So now you keep expanding your beliefs, potential behavior, and you get even greater results. So that's really fascinating how that works. And that's one of the things hypnosis does that works so well. Now, I just want to say thank you for, sorry. Okay. I just wanted to share my last slide here. Let me get back into that. Sorry. Okay. So what's happening? It's not letting me screen share my last slide. Oh, well, let me see here. What's happening? Sorry, little technical happens sometimes with live shows here. Okay, so
yeah, it's sharing.
It's sharing now. Awesome. Okay, so I just want to say thank you again for all your time and attention here. And you have the free self-hypnosis handout. And I would like to offer, as a thank you for your time and attention, I want to offer everyone on the call a free 30-minute screening with me to see how hypnosis can help you achieve desired results in your life. And special bonus to the ICA members here, if you reach out to me and mention the ICA, I've just created a brand new hypnosis audio program called Performance Improvement for Clarinetists. If you want to take an even deeper dive and more specific dive into increasing your musicianship, your practice skills, and your performance skills. And I'm offering a 50% discount on that to ICA members. So just mention ICA when you reach out to me. There's my information. You can reach me at Ohio Valley Hypnosis, my call or text number. You can email me, davidciucevich.com, or any of the 3 websites there. You can reach me as well. So thank you, Jessica. Thank you, ICA. I really hope this was helpful to everyone. And please contact me. I'd love to hear your stories and see how hypnosis can work for you like it worked for me. So thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, David. Does anyone have any questions about David's presentation? I do see a question here from Mary.
Yes.
She says, I had medical hypnosis after a clarinet injury, was not healing, and I was nervous about going alone. My therapist allowed a friend to come with me. Is this typically allowed?
Yeah, you can have someone accompany you to a hypnosis session. Yes, if it makes you feel more comfortable. Yes, one of the important things in hypnosis for success is we call it rapport. It's like with your private teachers. When you feel comfortable with them and you feel they've got your best interest and looking out for you, and it's a mutually beneficial thing. That's what you form, that kind of link. You're looking for that. The same thing with a hypnotist. So yes, I've used medical hypnosis. I had a root canal, and I was using hypnosis pre and post-op. I was playing later that day. I had no pain. It works.
We also have a request to see the previous slide.
Oh, the previous slide. Let me
just a moment. So
yes, let me go backward here. Let me screen share here. Was that the one at the end with the info? Or this?
I think the one right before that.
Yeah. So yeah. Beliefs. Changing your current beliefs leads to tapping in the new potential, which helps you create new behaviors, which then gives you the new results that you're aiming for. And again, like I say, this is a positive or negative feedback loop. If you stay in your current beliefs, you're going to have your current probably limited potential because you're not getting the results you want. And then your behaviors, you're kind of not going to take good new actions probably. So you're going to get the same so-so results. So it can go up or down. It's up to you. So
great. Any more questions for David? I think this is really interesting. I know many people have probably experienced feelings in their body over the last year that they hadn't previously experienced. And I actually had panic attacks for the first time in my life after COVID started. And I was kind of shocked and didn't really know what to do with that because I'm usually pretty in control of the way that I feel and all of that and pretty in touch with that. So it was a learning experience. I feel like we all need to take a little bit more time and be sensitive to our bodies and try to understand what it is that we're thinking about when we have these feelings. I see another question here. What other things have you addressed besides stage fright with hypnosis?
Well, a lot of my practice actually hypnosis wise has been for many years before COVID and we were all on Zoom. I have helped a lot of musicians around the world with focal dystonia, other issues like that, performance issues. Also, outside of the clarinet world, the 3 biggest things that people use it for are stop smoking, weight loss, and stress management, which ties into this presentation, certainly. So those are the big 3, but it can be used for everything. There's a big usage. Olympic athletes, for example, and golfers particularly, have been using hypnosis for many, many years. Anybody that's like Olympic skiers, I remember reading they practice like 10 hours a day on average, but you can't ski for 10 hours a day. You'll break your body, right? So they really probably only spend, I thought the number was around like 2 hours physically practicing. The other 8 hours, they're actually in hypnosis and doing other similar practices. They're mentally, we talk about mental rehearsing and how that's now becoming a big thing. The musicians are doing it now too and seeing the same fantastic results from it, and hypnosis is on the forefront of that. So
great. Well, you have if you could go to the next slide one more time.
Yes,
you have David's contact information here. I encourage you, if you have any more questions, to reach out to him. If you joined the session late, the video will be up on YouTube shortly, so you can catch that first session and refer back to his 5-minute hypnosis example in this presentation. You can have the worksheet. I'll post it in the chat one more time here. It's also on the website and available in the guidebook app, so you can access that and get information there as well. And wow, this is great. Thank you so much for your time, David. Thanks for presenting, and thank you all for joining us. We have another session starting at 11:30 Eastern on YouTube, so I hope you'll join us for that, and we will see you again soon. Thanks again.
Thanks, everyone. Look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care. Be well.
Bye-bye.